Marie, what was your reaction? Denise told me that you were that Alan wanted. He said, "I wish I could be at the funeral to see everything." And then the joke was, "Well, let's have a party." And then the joke became something that this is not a bad idea. What was your reaction to having, I guess you could call, a pre-funeral party?
I really thought it was a good idea. I know how much he loves to have a party, and it means an awful lot to him to have his friends and relatives here. He was a little bit disappointed with our 60th because we compromised, because I'm not one for a lot of stuff, but on the other hand, he is. So we did compromise for our 60th wedding anniversary. But I think it's a great idea. It's given him something to think about, and it's made him happy. I just hope his health will hold out for the length of time, that we still have another month yet before we get there. But no, I think it's a great idea, and I'm all for it. And everyone we've spoken to thinks it's a great idea. Yeah.
Can you tell me about Alan? What are the things that maybe people don't know about Alan that you know? The things that you cherish the most?
Well, it's kind of hard to say because he's very loving, very outgoing, which most people would know anyway. But I don't know, we've always had a great friendship before we fell in love, if you want to put it that way. And as I say, I can see him now. When he first asked me to go out with him, I said no. I said, well, you've got another girlfriend. You're going to have to ditch her before you ask me. And which he did. And but as it turned out, I always remember we was outside Al's mum's house, and loved Alan's mum because I've known her since I was 9 years old. And she happened to say to Alan, why don't you ask Mary to go out with you? And he said, she won't have me. And then I took the opportunity to say, who says she won't? And that's how we got started on our relationship. And it was a wonderful courtship. And they were wonderful years that we were at the club. That was what our thing was, And life changed when we come to Canada. I found it very hard to deal with, but then we were adventurous, and that's something that he's always wanted to do. And we made the best of it, and it was hard. Those first 5 years was very, very difficult. Maybe because we didn't know anyone. We seemed to gravitate to English people naturally because they're from the same culture. And I guess I really felt more comfortable once I had my own children. But Alan did have 2 sisters that came out, so that made it really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how are you dealing with everything right now?
Well, I'm finding it rather difficult, having just come out of hospital. I feel as though I'm not helping the way I should be helping, but I just don't have the energy to. In fact, unfortunately, I was unable to go to many of the doctor's appointments that he had. I was still in hospital when he went down to Princess Margaret. And as I say, but this last week, I have been able to go attend some of the things that are involved with having to get him better. But other than that, I still find it upsetting when we constantly talking about it, but I know we have to. So that's more or less where I'm standing right now, okay?
So I guess having the party then is something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. It's okay.
Yes, it is. It's given us both something to look forward to, and the children and the grandchildren. I think it's going to be, I just hope that for his sake, I think it's naturally going to be a good time, but it's also going to be an upsetting time because his sister is coming from England. And I know one of them in particular really felt that she couldn't face it, but she is coming for his sake. But he didn't want to push anybody, but I know he will enjoy it. But it will be the time to have to go back. That's what we're going to have to deal with. But we're going to have to deal with it anyway. So whichever, it's going to be tough for the next 6 months, a year. We're hoping it would be longer,
Yeah. What is the advice you want to give your friends? Because I've seen this happen before. My uncle is dying of cancer, and he's lasted a lot longer than we expected. But one of the things he said was that people have backed away. They don't know what to say, or they just don't want to have any relationship. It's almost like they've already said goodbye.
Yeah, I've found that within the last, I guess, well, it's 5 weeks today since I went into the operation. But we've had so many calls or people have seen Alan that they don't know whether to phone or not. But I always feel better about things when I've spoken with somebody. I feel better about it. I know I've just said that I don't want to talk about that so much, but somehow they seem to put me in a better frame of mind just by talking about it, really, because it's true, though, people do they don't want to intrude, and that is what they say all the time. But I do feel that if the person concerned, like Alan, doesn't mind talking, about it. Anyway, yeah.
So basically, you want them come forward.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Exactly, yeah. Because that's the way we've always been. We've been a couple of talkers. He says he's the more, but I can do my share when I want to, okay? And, yeah, I guess that's it, yeah.
Is there anything that you would want to say to your kids?
Well, I have to just echo.
I'll just stop you there. Okay, I just want to make sure we don't talk over when we're editing. Okay, so is there something that you would want to say to your children?
I just feel the same way as Alan, really, that, make the best of your life, do good things, set an example to your own children, and always be good to people if you can. I think we've always tried not to harm anybody. We just don't, it's not in our nature. We've always wanted to do our best, okay?
Is there anything else that you want to say, Marie? Is there a funny memory that you remember about Alan?
Well, one comes to mind. We'd taken the children sledding, quite a number of years in the winter. And we were coming down just a slope, icy slope. And we ended up in water, and it was freezing cold. And Alan and I, these kids were thoroughly enjoying this. So we were soaked up to the knees. We sat in that car with the heater on, and we were absolutely frozen. But we enjoyed it for their sake. And another time we'd gone up to Muffet's cottage and just gone up for the day because she had no heat in the winter time. And we'd come to had to walk in along this path. Oh, Denise was no more than, 5, 6. She had snowshoes on, so she's just bouncing along. There's Alan going one leg, then the other leg, and it was hard work. Well, the next day we were covered in bruises, but looking back on it, it was very, very funny, yeah. There's been lots of incidents in our life that we've had a good laugh over, We used to go camping, and we've done everything pretty well. We've always done it together, and that's what I'm going to miss. I'm just going to miss the small things in life, like, should we go out for a coffee, or do I feel like going out to a movie, or just those companionable moments more than the big times, That's what I'm going to miss. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say, Marie?
I just know I've loved him all my life since the age of 17. And I'm going to find it very, very difficult to go on. I can't even I do think about it. What am I going to do? But I just can't believe it. I still can't believe it. I find it, difficult to think about it. And he says to me, well, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I know that it's good to plan, but I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to do. I'll manage. I'll get by. I know I will. You know, my time comes, I guess. But anyway, yeah.
Do you think, this is really stretching, but do you think you'll still talk to him?
I'm hoping I can. I'm hoping perhaps if we went back to perhaps church, or maybe I can find some kind of peace in some kind of faith. I'm a little bit like Al at the moment, that we've never really done too much religion through our lives. You know, we weren't brought up in a family that was very religious, so therefore we never really went, you know. But I'm just hoping that I will perhaps find some kind of presence. I do pray every night for him, on my own, of course, but just, yeah, you know, so I'm hoping it will happen, yes.
Okay.
You all right?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, boy.